All right, guys, I wanted to talk about the Tesla Model Y and what that means for the future. I mean, Elon Musk kind of explained everything when you watched the stream, but I wanted to talk about what's kind of cool about what's with the future and how like in 2011 nobody really cared about an electric car and saw a future in electric cars, and now it's like, okay, GM's going full electric, Ford's going electric, BMW's going electric, and there's like a tweet recently that Ford might be hinting an electric Mustang. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not because it was tweeted out at the same time as I'm gonna lower this as the press conference for the Model Y. So it's possible that they might have teased like and hinted that they're making an electric car right now. It could be a Mustang. I know their F Series, which is like their trucks, are going to be electric, which is pretty cool. The Model Y is an SUV. When they revealed it, I was kind of like, oh, okay, like this doesn't look cool. I mean, it's cool that it's a seven-seater, that it's a cheaper, it's basically the SUV version of the Model 3. It looks pretty much just like the Model 3, minus some, few things here and there, and the size, obviously, but they kind of played it safe with the design, I feel like. But aside from that, it looks like a solid car. And I personally would want a Model X out of any car there, but go figure, I want one of the most expensive cars they got, I guess, aside from the Roadster. And the weird thing is, I don't know why they're not putting, because the Roadster, they claim that it can go 600 miles on one charge. The semi-truck can go 500 miles on one charge, and yet for some reason, none of their other cars have the charge range of 600 miles. Like, I mean, the X is so big, I don't know why they wouldn't stack the 100 kilowatts and on top of each other and go 600 miles. Like, why does a smaller car have more range? I mean, it might be because it's lighter, and also just a few other factors that come into play that cause it to go 600 miles. But I feel like as the electric cars are becoming standard slowly, actually quite rapidly, because it's only been about 10 years. But as they become more and more standard, I feel like the cost will go down, especially with the production of gigafactories and what Tesla's kind of trying to do with, like, you know, getting rid of employees, getting rid of their showrooms that they've been paying rent on, and cutting costs to produce these cars at a cheaper cost. And when you look at like other car brands, typically their electric cars cost way more. Even if you can get like a Honda Clarity for 30K, it still only goes about 80 to 100 miles on one charge. It might as well just spend the extra $5,000 and buy a Model 3 that can go twice that range, if actually more, because it can go about 220 miles on one charge on the low range ones. So electric cars are the cheapest range to cost ratio when it comes to Tesla over any other brand out there, aside from maybe like the Nissan Leaf is not bad and the Chevy Volt is pretty good, but even then I feel like, and the Volt I think is probably the best cost efficient range, but the Model 3 is still up there in terms of like quality and range and cost. Mainly cost is a big factor, obviously, because you're spending an arm and a leg on these products. I mean, and to me the Model 3 is like the Honda Civic of Tesla, so it should be like a $20,000 car, but since electric cars aren't necessarily standard yet and they're still in production of gigafactory, and Tesla's been throwing billions of dollars on different projects here and there, and SpaceX and so on and so forth, I'm expecting the F Series to cost an arm and a leg as well. The Rivian is definitely a cool car. I want the Rivian, but the problem is the base model, which is not, a 400-mile charge range, is $70,000. And they told me that, their 400-mile range is going to be way more expensive than that. So MSRP 70K, but that once again, it's definitely a nice truck. It definitely has a lot of quality to it, but we want we want electric cars to cost as much as gas cars, and we want the fuel to cost as much as what they are now, as opposed to like what gasoline costs. So like filling up a Tesla car costs like what, $10 to $20. If you have the older models, it's free charging for life. And gasoline, I have to fill up my. The funny thing is, I think 200 miles is too short ranged for electric cars, but the funny thing is my Dodge Charger, that it's a V6, can only pretty much go 200 miles before I have to fill up $50 to $60 basically. And the funny thing is, a Tesla costs only a fraction of that to fill up. But yeah, so the Model Y is definitely a step in the right direction in terms of they're not trying to make it too fancy. It definitely has, it has door handles. It has like basic functions, 7-seater. Lowest price is $39,000, which is not bad. And it's only slightly more expensive than a Model 3. And like I said, it's literally just a bigger Model 3 with its same qualities at a slightly higher price. I wouldn't say slightly, but it's at a higher price, but not too high. The model, because the Model X and Model S are like $70,000 to $150,000, and the Model 3 and Y are $35,000 to $60,000, which is much better. I'm hoping. Wow. I'm hoping that it will definitely be cheaper and cheaper as time progresses. I'm expecting in like at least between 4 to 5 years that like these cars are definitely going to be cheaper than what they are. I doubt their X and S will ever go cheaper, but I want their 3 and their Y to be cheaper. At least their 3, just because I still feel like I would buy a Honda Civic right now over a 3. Actually, that's not true. I want an electric car really badly, but it's definitely still getting up there. I mean, Tesla's changed the automotive industry, and it's changed it forever into something completely different. In the future is literally electric cars. Somebody told me that the future is hydrogen cars, which is also true, but hydrogen cars are basically electric cars as well. They just are powered a little differently, or not a little, but they're powered differently, but they're still electric basically. But this progression is definitely a lot faster than I was expecting. Now, one of the things that like people are kind of hating on Tesla and Elon Musk, especially because their decisions on getting rid of showrooms, getting rid of employees to cut costs on the car, and the thing that people don't realize is that Tesla is meant to make the future better. Is to kind of save the planet in a sense of like having no emissions, self-sustaining energy on your house and on your car. And he's not only eliminating pollution on your car, he's eliminating pollution on in terms of like fossil fuel power plants, of constant mining of oil and fracking and so on and so forth. So to eliminate all that would definitely clean up the air a lot better. So we won't have to deal with pollution as much as we are currently dealing with it. And it's definitely gotten better over the last 10-20 years, but we're still not at the point where we need to be. But it's definitely, and that's the purpose of Tesla, and that's the purpose of Elon Musk, because he wants to essentially, as cliche as it sounds, make the world a better place. And I believe him. But like I said, the only adopters of a Tesla car are definitely people with a much higher income. Average household income is what, $25,000 to $40,000, and you can't even afford a house with that. At least in California, you need to be at least making over $100,000 a year in order to be able to afford even or just a Model 3, really. Unless you don't have to pay bills and live with your parents, like some people, like me. But I'm not making any money really. So I mean, I'm making a low wages right now, but I'm trying to work my way up. But yeah, so that's basically what I had to say about Tesla and the Model Y reveal. I kind of went off course about the Model Y. And the reason why I did that because there isn't really much to talk about the Model Y. It was revealed and that's it. Like it was literally like he just showed off his cars coming in on stage, and then he just parked the Model Y next to the Model 3, and that's it. And he's like, here it is. And then here's some of the stats. Here's some of the pricing. All right, we're done. But yeah, if you guys liked this video, I didn't mean to tap my mic. Hopefully it doesn't pick up as badly. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.